So before we start this, I just wanted to say that a lot of the stuff you're going to see in my classroom is stuff that I've previously bought. This is my 4th year starting as a special education teacher, and my very first year, my classroom was like government funded, minimal, did absolutely nothing because I was just trying to survive. I did not set up. I was not expending exorbitant amounts of money. I was just trying to survive the year. And now as a 4th year teacher, I've kind of accumulated along the way a lot of stuff. So here are a couple of my pictures from my very first classroom, and you can see that a whole lot of stuff has changed. Like, honestly, the majority of the furniture that's in here is stuff that I bought with my own money, or I've used the PTO money, or I've just begged my principal for some money, or I just went out and I did it. All the drawers and the bins, basically if it's mint colored or it's sparkly, I've bought it myself, and I feel like I'm here to stay. I don't have any plans of moving anywhere anytime soon, so I'm okay with spending a lot of money in my classroom. But I totally think that right now during a pandemic, if you're a first year teacher, like, you don't need the cutest classroom, because honestly, the sad reality is we don't know how often we're going to be in our classroom. Some places have already announced that they're online teaching till January. That is crazy. So our district's plan is 30 days right now in person, and from there they will reevaluate. So let's start this video. Hi guys, welcome back to another year in my classroom. It's really quiet, really echoey, very empty, but not empty for long. We got a lot of stuff in the hallway to bring in. So here's a clip of everything in the hallway. So basically my goal today is to just bring all the math stuff out from the hallway and in here, and I'm gonna talk to you about all the curriculums and interventions that I use for math, since I only have a couple hours before I start interviews today. And I've talked about math curriculums and just math manipulatives with other people on Instagram and YouTube. And I just thought it'd be interesting to show you guys like what I do for math. So we'll get the little math corner all figured out and leave everything else in the hall till maybe next week. This one is definitely the most used because it's number 1. Because I had a student trying to climb out the window, so I'm sure that's why they had to cut it, because they couldn't just pop the screen out, but it's locked, so they couldn't get in anyways. But like, who would be trying to get into my room? There's literally nothing in here because it's all in the hallway.
So here's my little corner setup. The window's open, so it's kind of bright, sorry. But basically this is my Bridges curriculum, the manipulatives I use on top, and then over there is just stuff sorted by grade level. I'm going to start off by addressing the fact that the desk is way scooted far this way. Usually the desk touches these rainbow drawers right here, and then there's another set of drawers that go between the wall and the desk where all the cords go under. I'm leaving it like this because I asked for them this year to get rid of some of the cords to see if they could somehow consolidate it, because half these cords, I don't even know what they do. Like, this isn't plugged into anything, so it's probably not important, but really, what is it for? I don't know. Or like this thing? What is this? I don't know. So usually there's more space over here because the desk is over there. So basically everything I have for math is broken up right here. The Bridges intervention curriculum, we use Bridges for our main math curriculum, and we pretty much follow it to fidelity. And this is what the interventionists, the title teachers, and the special ed teachers in the district use to provide extra services to students that need it. It's not necessarily broken up by grade levels. Like, obviously I wouldn't teach grade 9. It's kind of broken down by Common Core standards and just pre-tests within the curriculum. So for example, we'll pull 3, because 3 has a lot of stuff in it. So say I'm a second grade teacher, and some of my students in my small group are having issues with a certain standard. They would take the pre-test that's found within this book, find what unit they should start with, and then it would show them what lesson, what materials they would need. So basically this is what it looks like for the teacher from the teacher view. Sorry about the lighting, it's pretty bad. So they're going to practice if they're counting their dimes and pennies, so they would use the pennies and nickels right here. So they would choose a random amount of pennies, nickels, dimes, etc. Practice counting them, just like review what the names are of the coins, what's on it, what color it is, what the value of the coin is. And then they also have a second warm-up where they're pulling out the decade cards. So it says deal out the decade numbers, multiples of 10. So say this is a card deck to 100, I would give the 10, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100 out to students, and then I would place things like 5, 57, 13, where they're supposed to go in the number line, and the students would put their decades down where they go in the number sequence. This is the Common Core state standards that they're covering. It's got the instructional goals, and this is session 13. So then they also have the worksheets that go with it. So the students have practiced their coins, they've practiced how to count it, and now we're throwing them a new obstacle. We're giving them a worksheet with popsicle sticks, so they've got their bundles of 10s and their 1s. So then they're working on the place value of the 10s and the 1s put together. And the 1 through 9 is all just Bridges intervention that goes off of the Bridges curriculum that all have a binder, and they all have a lovely bin that go with it. So some of them call for card decks, some of them call for 10 frames. This one is 5 frames. Some of them have like spinners that go with it. Some of them have cards, spinners, and game boards. These are subtraction game boards. Here's a game board where they're doing like pluses and minusing. Here we've got our 120 grid mat, just for students that need extra support in seeing their numbers and which way they're sequenced. It's based off of our curriculum. It just hits on the standards that students are most likely to struggle with, and just offers like different interventions to assist with that. So if you don't use Bridges, you probably will never use the Bridges intervention. But this other stuff you probably might use. So this stuff is all broken down basically by grade level. So right here I've got my kindergarten stuff. So this is just a Carson DeLoso thing. So basically just more game options for the students. It's more games that go along with it. And then this is Connecting Math Concepts, which is the alternative curriculum that my district uses for special education students. So it's blue is what the teacher says, and black is what the answer for the students would be. Say 34, take away 13, get ready. They would say 34, take away 13. I would say it again, you know. I would say, raise your hand when you can tell me the turnaround equation for 10 plus 6 equals 16. They would say 6 plus 10 equals 16. So we have that for kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade. But I also don't follow it religiously. Like I last year had a 5th grader working on the 3rd grade book. It just kind of, you just kind of go at their own pace, and you keep going as they learn the new materials. I also really like it because it's a spiraling review, so the same thing will show up for like 50 pages straight just to make sure they get it. It'll rephrase it different ways, but they still have to get it before they can move on. So, as I said, this is all kindergarten, and then I have my big clock here. Technically, it goes over here. It just doesn't fit, so it'd stay here. And then these are just like a task card. So this one is pattern puzzles, and then this one is number square puzzles. So then again, we have first grade, connecting math concepts, and then this is a counting kit for math, a magnetic clock that you can stick to your whiteboard, a time telling book, and then Common Core mathematics, which I will send home for extra practice. You can print them off like this, or I use them during after school tutoring because I am the tutoring coordinator. I also have touch math, so I have subtracting within 20, subtracting within 100, and then I have the measurement, time, data, and geometry unit as well. So there's the third grade connecting math concepts, and then we have things like unicorn math coloring book. I use this at tutoring a lot, so then they can do the math, and then when they're done with the math, they can color in the unicorn, and it's very motivating for some of my girls. I just talked about touch math. I mostly use it for money and then just basic subtraction. I've never actually used it for data and geometry, but I would always be willing to try it if I had a student that struggled in those areas. Down here we've got connecting math concepts, third grade core mathematics, and then we also have things like more math centers, read a graph, word problems for third grade, make a graph, analyze the data, perimeter and area, transformations, what's my rule, read the graph, and then just some more teacher stuff, basic math facts. Down here's fourth grade. I don't have the fourth grade for connecting math concepts because I've never needed it, and so if I did need it, the district would send it to me, but I don't need it currently. So I talked about this. We've got plotting a picture. This is a Minecraft fraction book we use for after school tutoring. This is just extra from the fourth grade Common Core mathematics that I didn't use this year because COVID. Fill it up. How many combinations? Name that part. I mean, that's what it looks like, but then there's the directions for it, and then all the pieces are in there. So then if I have extra time after a lesson, or students come in and just need extra work while their class is silent reading and they just need some work, then I'll hand them one of these. Graph paper art, just an extension activity using 10 frames. You belong up here. Funny and fabulous fraction stories, use it with students, after school stuff, fourth grade Common Core mathematics, talked about that, word problems. This is like books that I as a teacher would use. We've got my bedroom slippers that I like to wear when I'm tired of wearing shoes. These are like the mats and the strips that we use for bridges. I'll show you one. So we got the mat, we got the units, and then we got the strips. So it goes with bridges. I just keep it over here because I don't use it unless I'm using that specific part of bridges. And then here's the upper grades: multiplication and division, touch math, multiplication, division, fractions, and then money. And I love using it for money. So if you're not familiar with touch math for money is, say this is a penny, we either put a line under it or we make a box. I don't mind, students can choose. This is a nickel, it gets 1 right there because it's worth 5. If it's a dime, they get 1 on their neck and 1 on their nose. 5, 10, because a dime's worth 10, and then quarters get 5, because 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And that is how my students do touch math.
It's crazy how normal this feels. I literally haven't been here in, like, I don't know, 5 months, and it just feels like a normal day. End of school, I'm the only one here again, like, just like normal when nothing is normal. But we are finished with what I've got done today. I'm gonna go home and get some McDonald's and edit this video and hopefully put it up today. So today is Wednesday, my day off from Walmart. So hopefully you will see this also on Wednesday if I was not slacking and did not take a nap, because I've been taking a lot of naps recently. So I'll stop talking and I'll show you what my little math corner looks like at the end, and then I'll show you the hallway of everything I have left, and I will probably see you again next Wednesday. I just wanna say right away, hello squirrel that just ran across. It pretty much never is this clean on top when school actually starts, because I just have like trays of junk everywhere. We got bridges, other math assorted things, and then these 4 containers, well, one has clutter in it, one is like fast bridge, state testing, like IEPs and other confidential stuff, student folders. So yeah, those are just my 4 important little files. And then we've got everything in the hallway. Let's go. These are all my picture books. They'll go into the room eventually. This is like stuff that came off of the wall. Those are headphones. Stuff for my fun areas that probably can't be used this year. These are fidgets and other sensory things that, again, maybe won't be used this year. Flexible seating, probably can't be used this year. Shared supplies, glue, scissors, nurse, colored pencils, crayons. Crayons can't be used this year. This goes in my desk area. I was gonna put it up, but our interviews ran really super late. These are puzzles and other like felt lacing activities. A Pete the Cat that a student likes. That can probably still be used because it's just one student that uses it. Confidential things, iPad cases, stretchy things, walkies, social emotional. This is everything that we ended up in March that we ended with, and they're all students. And they're all students that I still will have. So like their System 44 books, their Connecting Math Concept books, their Bridges Intervention books, maybe like their Cursive book that I made for them. Anything for students that are still coming that I wanted to relatively start off in the same spot that we left. That's all in this little cubby. We have these little wobble stools. I think I'll still be able to use them because they can be sanitized. They're like a hard foam. There's my cup holder, very useful. Other Halloween junk. Fix cubes, pattern blocks, dirt from planting, pillows. This is a student's personal rug that they sit on. So when the class is sitting, the class sits on the rug, and then this student gets to sit on this rug, and it's just kind of his own personal space, and he doesn't have to worry about other students in his space. Works well for him. That's from Halloween. That's from Christmas. That's a student's snack box. That's a weighted blanket that can be washed, so I think that's okay. And then some games, but mostly just like my reading stuff. You can see it's rainbow ordered, so then kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth. Very convenient. Sound Partners reading stuff, foundation stuff, reading milestone stuff, foundations, reading, grammar, reading. This is actually not reading. This is my holiday stuff. And then System 44. So as you can see, there's a whole lot of stuff that still has to be shoved back in my classroom. I was really planning on doing a couple of more things this year that I probably won't do just because of COVID. And even though our school is planning to go back, like we're doing 30-day plans at a time. So we might do 30 days in person and then have to go virtual because the case number gets crazy. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but like that's the reality. So besides the stuff that's in my car from the Target dollar spot, I'm really not planning on buying anything new or doing anything new. I think it'll just be a lot of everything from last year and what I was doing. And if I do buy something, it'll be like super minimal. These are the clothespins I was talking about in my last video for Target when I bought those pencil clothespins. So as you can see, I have more than 10. Can't count apparently. So we'll have to buy more. So like small things, like buying some clothespins to replace the old ones I have, that's not gonna kill me. Buying something to keep all my stuff on the wall, that is important. Everything's falling off. But really, no big changes, and I guess that's necessary. I feel bad for the first year teachers that are out there trying to buy a whole classroom worth of stuff, but like maybe they won't even get that use out of it. So hopefully I'll see you guys next week on Wednesday. If not, maybe Saturday or the Wednesday after. I don't know. I think my next plan of attack will just be the reading materials, and we'll just go from there. The books and the cases will be the last things I deal with because I don't want to be putting books out for kids that won't read them. Because if we're online, the kids won't be reading the books in my library. So question of the day. I'm wearing a teacher shirt. It's from Shop Callie Danielle. I have a bunch from her. How many teacher shirts do you think you have if you're a teacher? Question of the day. How many teacher t-shirts do you think you have? I buy them for like 100 day of school, first day of school, last day of school. I'm like a teacher t-shirt fanatic, and I probably have 30 of them. That's just a rough guesstimate. So how many do you have? Are you a minimalist? Do you have like one? Do you have a couple? Or are you like me and you have like 30? Comment down below how many teacher t-shirts you have. But I'm gonna end this video right here. Go home and edit it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up so you can continue seeing more awesome content. When I see videos with a lot of thumbs up, that makes me know that, okay, this was a good video. I should make it again. I should do something like it. And then of course, subscribe to my channel so you can see more awesome content. You can help me get to 1,000. I'm like almost to 1,000, which is a pretty low number for most YouTubers, but like I don't know, I'm in the special education realm and there's not many of us on YouTube, but I wish there was. So if you're out there, you've always like thought about doing teacher YouTube for special education, do it. Take the plunge. It's cool. It's fun. There's like a whole online community of people you can talk to and share ideas with, and it's just something fun to do. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.